On April 9, 1865, as I stood on a hilltop near Appomattox Courthouse Village, listening to the sounds of battle, I tried to judge the progress of the crucial attack my men were making. After 4 years of war, the northern front of the Confederate States of America had collapsed. Just 1 week before, we had to evacuate both Petersburg and the Confederate capital, Richmond. I knew the consequences of the choice I must soon make. General Grant had sent messages urging us to surrender. This action would mean the end of the war. Just recently, I had sent a message to my son, Major General Fitzhugh Lee, telling him not to even think of surrendering. If victorious, we have everything to live for in the future. If defeated, nothing will be left for us to live for. All my hopes were crashing now. There were no reserves left. The men were fighting off twice their number and had no hope of breaking through. There was nothing left for me to do except go and see General Grant. I would rather have died 1,000 deaths. Once I thought of riding through the lines and drawing enemy fire just so I could end it all. But I knew it was our duty to live. By 1 o'clock on the 9th, I sat in the corner of a parlor in the village of Appomattox Courthouse, waiting for General Grant. As he hurried into the room, one thing I noticed about him was a profound relief that this was over. The hardest words I ever had to say were, "I suppose, General Grant, that the object of our present meeting is fully understood. I ask to see you to ascertain upon what terms you would receive the surrender of my army." Grant offered that all men surrendering be paroled, and all arms be delivered up as captured property. My men would be allowed to return to their homes. He also agreed to let any man that claimed to own his own horse keep it. Horses would be needed back home on the farms. I offered my sword to him, but he refused. He said all officers were to keep their swords. I signed the letter of surrender. It was done. My heart breaks. We suffered over 260,000 casualties. I need not tell the survivors of so many hard-fought battles who have remained steadfast to the last that I have consented to this result from no distrust in them, but feeling that valor and devotion could accomplish nothing that could compensate for the loss that would have attended the continuation of this contest. I have determined to avoid the useless sacrifice of those whose past services have endeared them to their countrymen. I earnestly pray that a merciful God will extend to you his blessing and protection with an increasing admiration for your constancy and devotion to your country, and a grateful remembrance of your kind, and a generous consideration of myself. I bid you an affectionate farewell. I was able to return to my family in Virginia. For the next 2 months, we lived in the chaotic Richmond as the people tried to rebuild it. We left and went to stay in Powhatan country. I loved the land and the country life. Soon, though, Washington College in Lexington contacted me. They needed a new president. Eventually, I accepted the position. I spent the next 5 years at Washington College. We increased the staff and the students. I spoke at many places and always tried to encourage others to be friendly to the Northerners. I tried to be involved with the students. I wanted to restore peace and harmony. I think now we need to bring up a new generation. We need to forget our grievances with the people of the North. We need to be united as one country. It is now 1870, and I have become gravely ill. Exercise causes pain and difficulty in my breathing. I am weary and depressed. I believe it is from a disease I suffered in 1863 while our army was in Fredericksburg. The doctors believe it is my heart. One thing that brings me comfort is to ride on my beloved horse. I have toured the South and spoke to many people. My hope before I pass on is that we will learn to raise our children as Americans. It is history that teaches us to hope.